Good day, and welcome to our Applied DNA Sciences Investor Conference Call. My name is Debbie Bailey. I am the Director of Investor Relations, and I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. Speaking today will be Applied DNA Sciences President and CEO, Dr. James Hayward. Please note that some of the information you will hear during our discussion today may consist of forward-looking statements, including without limitation those regarding revenue, gross margin, operating expenses, other income and expense, stock-based compensation expense, taxes, earnings per share, and future products. Actual results or trends could differ materially. For more information, please refer to the risk factors discussed in Applied DNA Sciences Form 10-K for 2012. Applied DNA assumes no obligation to update any forward-looking statements or information. At this time, I would like to turn the call over to Dr. Hayward.
Thank you, Debbie, and good morning, and thank you for taking the time to join us today. Today I will tell you about the quarterly earnings results that came out last evening and give you an update of the overall business of Applied DNA Sciences. But let me summarize in a one-sentence prelude. Things are changing, and quickly. Before providing our numbers, I want to read you an email I received at 6 p.m. yesterday from a business veteran and vendor whom I respect quite a lot. It arrived soon after we announced our, and let's not stumble over humility, astonishing new signature DNA fog platform, produced and offered for sale together with Cloak of Denmark. The email reads, quote, "Your DNA fog may possibly be the most fascinating announcement I've seen in 20 years. And all in caps, very cool, exclamation point. Congratulations on pushing your technology forward in ways that seem almost unimaginable," end quote. As I fill you in today on details, let's not get lost in the weeds and not lose sight of the potential of this business, which does indeed stretch the imagination. Now, we are grateful for a lively and committed investor base. So many of you have provided questions via our website. Rather than hold all these questions to the end of my comments, I'll provide most of the answers during the course of my comments. Now, our revenues were $344,000 for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2013, principally from the sales of our authentication services. In the prior year, 2012, for the 3 months ended March 31st, we generated $518,000 in revenues. Now, for the 6 months ended March 31st, 2013, we generated $662,000 in revenues from ops, compared to $1 million in revenues for the 6 months ending the prior year. That is March 31st, 2012. Now, the decrease in sales for the 3 and 6 month periods ended 31st of March 2013 compared to the same period a year ago was primarily caused by the completion of our prior contract with LMI and a slower than anticipated replacement of that revenue by DNA marking contracts with commercial electronic manufacturers. In late January 2013, the U.S. Defense Logistics Agency, or DLA, announced that it would subsidize signature DNA marking costs for its trusted suppliers. And in March 2013, after this and other mechanisms were in place, we were able to ramp up signature DNA shipments for this market segment. As I stated recently, the program is still in its early stage, and we do not believe we are anywhere close to the potential of this program at this time. I will speak more about this in a few minutes when I update you on the business. Now, selling, general, and administrative expenses increased from $1,824,000 for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2012, to $2,754,000 for the 3 months ended March 31st of this year. The increase of $900,000, or 51%, is primarily attributable to higher professional salary and service fees we incurred. A good portion of these expenses were attributable to non-cash charges, such as changes in the fair market values of stock options. Over that same time period, total operating expenses increased to $2,900,000 from $2 million, or an increase of $933,000. Now, at the heart of this growth has been the experienced and talented people who continue to join us. The company has continued to expand its workforce, adding 11 employees in the last 3 months, a 40% increase in staff. These increments were carefully planned and are essential to ensure solid execution against an expected growing demand for our products. An exciting development that will enhance our corporate resume is our progress toward ISO accreditation. We are pursuing 2 accreditations simultaneously: the corporate accreditation for 9001 and the forensic accreditation for ISO 17025. For the latter, we will be one of the few companies in our region with forensic accreditation. Both accreditations have the potential to increase our customer base, and ISO 17025 will enhance our reputation with state and federal agencies. To facilitate this accreditation, which requires careful separation by function of our business practices, and it subsequently demands space, and also to accommodate our new employees, we're in the process of relocating to a larger 30,000 square foot facility right next door to our current office and lab space on the campus of Stony Brook University. Both the move and the accreditation have increased costs, but these costs, we believe, will generate rapid returns. In this early stage of meeting DLA's requirements, the bulk of our work has been with distributors in channels with historic vulnerability to counterfeits. But our business and technology roadmaps call for the implementation of our technologies well beyond distributors. Our plans include the component manufacturers and the prime contractors. Success with the primes will pull our business in electronics toward the commercial sector, beyond defense. Counterfeit electronics in commerce is just as problematic as they are in defense, but the market is 100 times larger. In an announcement made May 7th, the company announced that 10 companies were contracted to DNA mark the parts that we will be selling to DLA, a feat in itself, while 9 more companies were negotiating contract closings with us for DNA. In only the weeks since that announcement, 2 more companies have signed contracts, and we are negotiating with component manufacturers and the primes. Moreover, we have quoted our first customer whose desire is to supply DNA-marked components to the commercial industry at large as a value-adding best practice outside of the DLA requirement. 2 companies have been signed on as third-party markers, enabling new customers to ramp up that much faster. Our SG&A investment also enhances our selling ability, reducing our sales cycle in this sector significantly. Finally, our contracted customers must meet our demanding security provisions before we will allow them to accept our DNA markers in their facilities. Our newly hired trainers then train and certify these customers with extensive training and QC compliance testing. By working closely with these new customers and absorbing their feedback, we have reduced their accreditation time by nearly 70%. These are the kinds of improvements we make every week that will lead to a shorter sales cycle. I believe that we are now strongly branded in the electronics industry, and that brand is recognized in bringing more companies to us. In conference after conference and blog after blog, our DNA program is being debated. Now, we welcome that, and it is putting signature DNA on the agenda of every major electronics business. Make no mistake. It is crystal clear that DLA is determined to forge ahead with the program. DLA continues to build out the governing specifications and standards. This initiative is the real thing. I believe there is a large potential for this technology to transition to other high reliability supply beyond defense, such as medical and automotive equipment, and we will work to add these market verticals to our list of customers. As you know from our announcements, Chris Taylor has come aboard as Director of European Operations, joining Tony Benson, our Director of Risk and Security, both based in the UK. A new marketing, branding, sales, and operational strategy is well underway, and it has brought us quick returns. This week, we made two significant announcements: the acquisition of assets of RedWeb Technologies Limited and an astonishing new platform, Signature DNA Fog, together with Cloak of Denmark. On May 10, 2013, the company entered into and closed on an asset purchase agreement with RedWeb Technologies Limited to purchase certain assets of RedWeb relating to its forensic tagging security system for a purchase price of 400,000 British pounds, or $624,000. The associated intellectual property is a framework that we plan to expand. The deal will provide Applied DNA with synergistic products once the RedWeb products have been further developed. The eventual result will be complementarity between the delivery systems and our expanded forensic marking systems. The transaction also provides us with a broader platform for further growth and expansion of our global customer list. The two companies had previously partnered in marketing an anti-theft product which combines RedWeb's Sentry intruder spray system with Applied's DNA evidentiary marker. Applied DNA will be modifying both the spray system device and Taggant technology platforms for acceptance into global markets. The company expects the integration of these new technologies will accelerate our entry into new security markets that we have already been pursuing. Now, the RedWeb deal is significant for Applied DNA as it provides new and compatible products that widen our product portfolio at price points that will be attractive to different customer sets. Consolidated supply will decrease the fragmentation in this market and create more powerful brands. Once improved, the outlets for these assets already exist in Europe and the US, where Applied DNA is currently selling its DNA spray systems to protect banks, pharmacies, jewelers, railways, and other markets. We intend to expand sales globally and have already put in place global sales channels that increase our market access for these eventual products. Now, announced just last night, Applied DNA has entered into a two-way exclusive agreement with Cloak of Denmark to market a technology combining our signature DNA in a rapid deployment security smoke called DNA Fog. Smoke Cloak will buy DNA only from us, while we will supply DNA to no other fog manufacturer other than Smoke Cloak. As part of this relationship, Smoke Cloak has extended their distribution network for use by Applied DNA, accessing security sales throughout the world and enhancing our internal sales force. The Smoke Cloak anti-intruder device deploys in a crime attempt, filling a room with a fog that virtually immobilizes criminals, and now also will mark a criminal with our signature DNA, so it may be used to forensically link the criminal to the crime. Not only will the fast-deploying smoke work to neutralize criminals, it will mark them in a way which can pin them to the crime and provide forensic evidence for the court. Let me pause for a moment to give you a too-real, perhaps, life example of the benefit of using this security smoke. Not long ago, two criminals entered a Barclays bank in the town of Manchester in the UK, brandishing shotguns and a sledgehammer and threatening staff members. These two meant business. One man unsuccessfully attacked a reinforced security screen. At that moment, the teller activated a system called Security Smoke by Smoke Cloak. In seconds, a thick, harmless fog filled the entire room, confusing the assailants, who panicked and ran. Police discovered the burned-out wreck of the criminals' cars around a half-mile from the bank. If our DNA had been incorporated into the smoke, the evidence would have been irrefutable. We think the alliance of Smoke Cloak and Applied DNA Sciences is a great match. Smoke Cloak gets the world standard in anti-theft forensic marking, our signature DNA marking and authentication platform. Our company, in return, will enjoy global access to a 20-year distributor network for Smoke Cloak that already has great selling relationships and a strong and loyal customer base. The combination of Smoke Cloak's room-filling smoke generators, together with Applied's anti-intruder device, which produces a targeted spray directed at the suspect, will give both companies a strong competitive edge in the crime deterrent market, and we are quite excited about this collaboration. Now, changing topics, our textile business continues to evolve. We are working with a number of different partners, from Prestigio and Moda to Holliston, to others not yet publicly disclosed, in markets from passport covers to uniforms to high-end wool carpeting, which is highly susceptible to counterfeiting. We will be participating in a number of very high-profile textile shows in the coming months. Our technology in this area continues to grow, allowing our products to be used on an ever-increasing array of textiles and related goods, meeting the requirements of an expanding list of opportunities. Now, in our last quarter, we described our efforts at protecting copper theft, a global scourge that can damage a country's critical infrastructure. In the last 6 months, we have had a substantial order to protect a European electrical utility and multiple railways. Recently, American rail systems have shown similar interests. Given the size and scope of the copper market and the scale of copper crime, combined with its threat to critical infrastructure, we expect the DNA marking of copper to become an important market for us. Well, thank you for your time today and for your continued support of Applied DNA Sciences. Together, we can make this world a better place. Now, we have, since entering the call, received a couple of questions, and I'm just having them handed to me now. I'll read them to you and provide an answer. One is, can our technology be applied to currency to protect counterfeiting? The answer is categorically yes. And in fact, it is something we have been working on for a number of years. It has already been proved But we have decided to enter that market with caution because it can sometimes prevent you from entering other markets once you have dedicated technology to currency. Right now, we are exploring it in a number of potential venues, so be assured we intend to have currency marking as part of our collection of future verticals, perhaps in the next year. Another question, is the company attempting to market their technology to manufacturers of consumer products? And we are entering this large market, but gradually. In our strategic plan, we specifically prioritize those business verticals that would provide the kind of validation that is most easily understood by the broadest markets. Clearly, we have accomplished that by protecting cash in the cash and transit industry, by working with DoD and protecting semiconductors and electronics, by working with jewelry stores in Sweden and actually being mandated by their insurers such that jewelry stores in Stockholm cannot be insured without using our technology. So we receive daily, certainly weekly, suggestions from dedicated shareholders who see opportunities for our product. We're grateful for that input. We take it seriously. We track it. We are controlling our costs the best we can, and we don't have infinite resources. So our resources have to be applied very carefully to those areas that generate the fastest return, either because they have higher margins or because they provide a validation that we can't reach with such speed in other market verticals. Well, I hope this answers some of your questions. Look forward to our next conference call and talk with you soon, I hope. Thank you. Bye-bye.